Hey, what's up everybody? BDO44 coming at you in another video. So I just had an epiphany. Zion is going to terrorize the league next year. He's going to terrorize the entire league. Nobody sees it coming, but that's exactly what's going to happen. Here's the thing. Zion Williamson is in fantastic shape right now. I just saw footage of him do a windmill off of 2 steps. It was a 360 windmill off of basically 2 walking steps. And he looked as slim as he ever has. Everybody's talked about how heavy he was and how he's out of shape and stuff like that. But the thing about him is the athleticism that he provides and the bounce that he actually has. Even if he has 300, 400 pounds on him, he could probably still jump out the gym just fine. I think people are waiting for him to be something that others have been before him. But what they've forgotten is he's something you had never seen before. He's not normal. You know, the type of power this dude jumps with on a basketball floor, you don't see that very often. You talk about LeBron James, you talk about Shaquille O'Neal, talk about Sean Kemp. Like, this is the type of individual this is. And now, y'all done talked him into getting in shape. As if he needed necessarily to in order to get 30-8. Him getting in shape was more so about him staying healthy, obviously, which is definitely necessary for him going forward. And I encourage him to keep up the habits that he's developing right now, because it's only going to make him as dominant as he's going to be, in my mind's eye anyway. And it's one of those situations where the team around him is so much better than it was when he went down, to where now he's going to come in and basically just be able to be himself. And he's not going to be required to really stay on the floor. For example, like, he can take chances defensively, you know what I mean? Because he knows he's going to have players coming off the bench for him who are going to be more than capable of filling the role and winning basketball games. You know what I mean? That's the beauty of what it is that they've put together. And you look at the defensive players around him, the addition of Dyson Daniels, and you know, you look at B.I., you look at C.J. McCollum. I mean, it's so much room. Valanciunas. It goes on forever. You know, I think that Pelican team is legitimately a NBA Finals contender, because I look at them and I say, I don't see any weaknesses. Look, Alvarado's on that bench. You got the other kid with the curly hair, the tall dude. I can't think of his name, but he's a lob threat at all times, blocking shots. He's only getting better. He's a lottery pick. Hayes, he's only getting better. So it's one of those situations. You're obviously talking about Jones at all times when you think about the Pelicans. I have to see a team put together from here that I think is legitimately going to run them out the gym. Because I know people are telling me the Clippers are better, but I say that Clipper team is old, man. And I look at that Pelican team and I'm saying, when you actually see what they're putting on the floor, if they're 100% healthy, they're as dangerous as anybody. You know, they are as dangerous as anybody. I am not kidding. So I don't know what they're going to be able to put together, but they have great coaching. And as I said, I'm looking at that roster and I'm legitimately saying I don't see no weaknesses at all. They can shoot the ball. They can rebound the ball. They're long. They're lengthy. They have balance. They are probably the deepest team in the league, maybe the deepest team in the league. So I'm just watching. I'm paying attention. I understand that Zion's coming back. He's going to have to work his way into the equation. It could be, you know, that could have a reverse dynamic. It could be a situation like Boston had with Kyrie and Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart and Jason Tatum, where they were kind of shuffled with Gordon Hayward. It could have that dynamic where they're bringing him back, and it could push some guys who've already proven themselves worthy as starters back to the bench, or make it so that some guys' minutes kind of get decreased. But I think the difference between that situation and this one is they're going to be in a space where it ain't going to be a whole lot of losing. Because I don't anticipate Zion coming back from injury the same as Gordon Hayward coming back from injury. Not in this situation. Absolutely not. Zion Williamson is going to be someone who's going to contribute a great deal to what they do. And as long as he's playing team ball with them and not taking too much away from his teammates, which I don't think is going to be a problem for him since he's a natural passer to begin with. I think most people have forgotten that. When you consider his natural game and the fact that he's going to be able to affect things on both sides of the floor, last time we saw him, he wasn't as good defensively, but the team around him wasn't that good defensively. Now he's got nothing but hound dogs around him. That's going to make him a better defender. And he's going to get back to his dominant defensive ways from college, which I have not forgotten, because he looked like he was well on his way to being one of the most dominant defensive players there was. That was the thing about him. You would see him, you'd be like, did he just do that? And it wouldn't be offense. It would be some steal. It would be some snatching block shot where he just snatched the ball out of the sky. It's like, I think people have forgotten who this is. And when you consider the size around him and the type of talent they got all up and down that roster, I am very, very certain that this is a contender. Very certain. They should have high hopes with B.I. coming in. Was this year 6 of B.I.? This should be an all-star season for him easily. And as long as the Pelicans don't do anything stupid like trade everybody away for KD, they could be ridiculously dominant this year. Ridiculously dominant this year. You know? And I look at a lot of teams in the Western Conference, I say they're dangerous. They're dangerous, and they're dangerous. But are they actually more deep than the Pelicans? I don't know. You know, and as I compare them to the Clippers, because that's the exciting team, I say, I don't trust those Clipper bodies. If they're 100% healthy, yeah, they're talented as heck. But in comparison, just if I'm looking at those two contenders, I trust the Pelicans to be more healthy throughout the regular season. I trust that they'll have those younger bodies, and the core of what it is that they should have on the floor should, in theory, be more durable than what the Clippers are putting on the floor. In theory, it's more durable than what the Lakers are putting on the floor. I look at that team and I say they're deeper than the Dallas Mavericks. You know, since I'm just talking about the Western Conference, obviously OKC, Houston, those are young teams. They may be coming along. I don't know that they have more talent necessarily than the Pelicans right now. You look at the Minnesota Timberwolves. Some people really, really like what they put together. I think they could be a very serious contender, depending on how things go with what they're doing. That length is undeniable. I don't particularly love the play style that I think they're going to run with, but if they figure it out, they have some talent to win a lot of games. The thing about it is, Pelicans have more talent. And they have the exact same type of length. And that's what it really comes down to. They got the length. They may not have Rudy Gobert and, you know, Karl Towns, but they got Valanciunas, they got Jones, they got obviously Zion, you know, as we said, Hayes. Like, they got the length to match up with them. And more depth, as I said. So it could be a situation where you're looking at teams like that, you know, to be legitimate teams to come out of the Western Conference this year. Obviously, the Golden State Warriors are still very much in the mix. You love Wiseman being available. You love the fact that they got back Looney, Draymond, so you definitely can't count them out in this conversation. But, you know, like I said, I look at the Pelicans and I say, I think this team is a better bet to stay healthy than all those other teams. And a better team to consider in withstanding injury. You know what I mean? That's another thing. I look at Devontae Graham. Understand he got in a little bit of trouble recently. I'd assume he'll be able to come back and be healthy this season. Him coming off your bench, that's super dangerous. The fact of the matter is, you got CJ ahead of him. So now you're not really asking him to do as much. Which puts him in a position to do nothing but what it is he's supposed to do. Let it fly. But he's dangerous if you leave him open. If he's a 6'7" guy to guard, that's a bad thing for you as a defensive team. You know, and I think about some of the other players they got. I can't remember this young fella's name, but he's on the back of their bench as a point guard they drafted in the lottery a couple years back. He's profiled as one of the fastest players in the league. He's back there. That's the point. Can't think of his name, but he's there. And I'd imagine he's going to step forward and take a step forward as a bench player for them with starters upside. And then his athleticism will carry him forward for the rest of his career, I'd imagine. So that's somebody on the back of the bench that's going to do damage behind Dyson Daniels. It's like, you got to understand how deep this team is. This is not a game. Like, they're going to keep coming. And you consider they're interchangeable. So for some reason you say, oh, they're not as deep as small forward. Yes, they are when you consider 2 or 3 of those guys can move down and move up. You know, you could play Jackson Hayes at the 5, 4, 3, Jones 3, 4, 5, Dyson 1, 2, 3. Like, it's like, look, I'm as high on this team as any team in the Western Conference, not named Golden State, out of respect. But I'm telling you, I've said this once and I'll say it again. Depending on how these trades go and who trades who around the Western Conference, I really do think right now the Pelicans are my favorite. I ain't kidding. You know, Willie Green is a problem. Zion Williamson is basically unstoppable. And there's too many dang defenders everywhere. Alvarado running around sneaky, taking steals. They're built for the playoffs. B.I., as elite as he's about to be going forward, stepping into his own, stepping into his prime. Prime B.I., I don't think people really understand what's coming in regards to that player alone. You got to deal with that man. Like, people talking about trading for KD. I would not trade him right now for KD. Absolutely not. I would rather have B.I. over the next 4 years than KD over the next 4 years. And I don't think anybody who really knows what they're talking about would disagree with that. And I respect KD, but ain't no way. Ain't no way. After what I just saw in these playoffs, what B.I. just did? No. Nope. You trade him if you want to. Wouldn't be me. That's an untradeable player, ladies and gentlemen. I would not be surprised if he has an MVP trophy in his hands before he retires. Do not trade B.I. Do not do that. If he has a healthy career, he's going in the Hall of Fame. I'm just letting people know that early. That's happening. So you consider that's Zion Williamson. That's his running mate. I'm like, yo, don't be surprised if they go crazy this year. Don't be surprised. I've already warned y'all. Well, that's all I got to say about it. I already warned y'all about the Pels. The Lakers basically gifted them an opportunity with a championship with that AD trade. It's a bottom line. It's a bottom line. They have done good things with the plunder. And I think Dyson Daniels particularly was a cherry on top. That's too much, man. He can't be that good of a defensive player and offensive player and be huge in that lineup. He can't be huge. On top of all that, I'm telling you, that was it. That's what made them a contender in my mind. You put that piece in there on top of Zion 100% and all that other stuff. Valanciunas may have an all-star caliber year himself. It's like, yo, good luck, y'all. Good luck. I really, really am high on those Pels. So that's what I want to say, man. Just get up here and let y'all know Zion looks great. He's about to dominate, and his team's going to be a contender. Willie Green's a really good coach, and I'm pretty certain they're going to need to just stay healthy in order to see this all manifest. So that's what I got to say, man. My name is BDF44. I thank y'all for watching. I'm out.